Okay, so I am presenting my entire screen. Okay, guys, entire. Hopefully, everyone can see my entire screen. All right, great, Sandesh. I'm just waiting for this for your thumbs up. So we are ready to go. So today is a mix of the HPA guys and the 25 HTF guys. Okay. So first of all, um, so this is what I have. So first of all, to the HPA guys, I just want to share my layout because most high tide flag people have just seen my this layout. So 1 minute I'm gonna show you the layout I generally use right now, and this has also been an evolving process. So what I have is I have the so this is basically one entire thing which has the BVHB candles, the pocket pivots. The pocket pivots will be in blue. The BVHB will be like in white, and this also has the क्या बोलছি, this is the triple B candle. Okay, and I also very extensively use something called a Mars relative strength indicator. Many of you already know this, but the high tide flag guys had never seen this, and that's why I am just making sure, because today I'm going to add this to your arsenal, how this can be used as a confirming signal while you are trading high tide flag and any flag or any setup for that matter. Okay, so HPA, generally when I do this, what I also do is I basically start with the review of the market, whatever happened the whole week. And so to do that, what basically I do is I basically go through an index list which I have, and quickly in 5 minutes I will just go through that. So Nifty 50 did all time high, touched 2100, all of that, or 21,000, sorry, not 100, and all of that is fine. And now it looks like that in due course of time the Nifty 50 might be, sort of leading, not leading, or at least like gaining some strength. Because if you see the relative strength line, the relative strength of Nifty 50 as compared to the Nifty 500, which is what I use it to compare with, has been like down, right? But now the strength is coming up. Okay. So even before that, the breadth of the market looks at like top. Every breadth indicator in the market right now is almost like at the highs. Okay, so there is no point of seeing like RSI also peak, high-low index at the peak, high-low index weekly at the peak. um, what else, the AD lines are at the peak. So basically it's like really bullish, so no point seeing that. uh, so what I wanted to show you is I wanted to show you the relative strength. Okay, so just let's see the 20-day, last 20-day relative strength and last 5-day relative strength. So if I sort the sectors of the highest strength, there is again there is no surprises. Reality has been leading since quite a long time, and also this week again oil started to do well. Okay, so you will see that 5.88% in general every oil and petrochemical related company has given, and surprisingly IT has done like is done also really well. But again, like you will see that, bro, like IT companies to itna dikh nahi raha hai. But because the thing is that if you see which cap companies in ITs have done well, so if I click this and if I go and see that small caps in the last 20 days has given 12%, whereas mid and large cap have only given 7%, right? So that means the bulk of the action in the IT sector is actually coming from the small caps. Okay, so again the usual guys are basically showing strength, and that is realty, oil, yeah, so these are the main guys. Okay, um, so that's about it. And energy companies have just shown strength, so you'll probably see industrials and energy also like popping up and uh, trying to now sort of gain more strength, and that's also mostly visible by the kind of stocks we've seen. So so this should also be another so if you just see that in last 20 days, this is just the this one, right? So in the last 20 days, large caps have outperformed the mid and small cap, like by a little bit, which is again telling a lot, because generally large cap is not the one which sort of was leading. So even in the last 5 days, you see large cap gave 2.9% on average, whereas small cap 2.2, whereas mid cap was really like the most lagging one. So could be that this is a sign saying that the large cap stocks will probably now start to get up. And on that note, I just checked HDFC Bank. This one looks really good for like a kind of a long term kind of a play. Okay, and it's also uh, forming a very nice upsloping inverse head and shoulder base. So I will not go through this whole list, because again the gist is pretty clear. Everything is like slowing down. The only thing I will tell you is that if you go to the Nifty 500, okay, which is basically the the index I am most interested in. Today it sort of formed a red day. Okay, after this red day, this is the first red day, and in general, this is a pattern which is basically you have a pole, then you have a mast, and then that mast broke out, and then you again formed a pole, and so sort of the target of this pattern is achieved. Okay, so now this doesn't mean that it will now come down. This just could mean that possibly Nifty 500 and the market in general could be gearing up for like a sideway, few couple of sideway days. That's all. Okay, so now swing traders, if you feel that some things are extended, could possibly be the right time to put stop orders, which will uh, you know make sure that you keep most of what you made. Okay, um, all right, so that is all I have today in the market front, reviewing the market basically. So today what I also wanted to now do, I will shift gears and mostly talk about 25 high tide flags with Homma, and we'll basically go through a couple of charts which are now looking good, and also then discuss some of the nitty gritties of trading high tide flags. And what I'll at the start only, what I'll do is I will so we had a rule of not having more than 4 positions with open risk. I think we have to relieve this 4 to 10. You know why? Because there is a lot of high tide flags setting up which are really good. Like for example, Cupid was one, right? So while I took Cupid, there was already like 4 positions, and so I think we can go on and do till 10 also. And the second benefit of this will also be that the exercise will end soon, and everyone can move on with their lives as well after that. So feel free to add more positions if you want. Okay, now what we've also been doing in the last couple of days or weeks is that we are adding what we have to seek in the highlight flag and what we have to avoid, right? And I'm also very doing this in a manner that like you can digest it, okay, like very slowly. So now, the new thing is basically the today what I'm going to talk about is use Mars for confirmation. Okay, so and the second thing which also popped up in today's this one discussion in the group was that like retest about retest. Okay, so the one thing which you have to which you have to notice is that most breakouts, irrespective of it being a breakout of a O'Neill pivot or out of a flag, small flag, high tide flag, or like a big base breakout, flat base, like most breakouts, like which is like basically 50% of the breakouts generally have the tendency to come and retest the area out of which it broke out. Okay, and it's actually not something to be scared of. This because this thing happens, what you as a trader, beginner or whatever level, I think intermediate and like high-fi traders all already know that this happens. But people who are just beginning to trade, you should know that this is a very natural phenomena which occurs after a breakout, and so you will have to be a little patient. Like for example, let's say with Cupid broke out yesterday, and actually in my opinion this was the real breakout, because this was like a fake out and the base was like this. But in any case, this was also a good place to add, okay. And so most of us added here, I suppose. And the now this guy is like sort of uh, possibly coming into a retest mode, okay. And this is obviously the retest, but also one can say that possibly this area could also be retested, okay. So we'll see. Now, some other examples of retest, we will quickly go and see some of the names which at least I already hold are sort of retesting. Now, this is what I exactly mean by retest. Now, this guy sort of broke out on this day, broke out with a huge gap, and then retested the previous breakout level once. I was a little concerned with the volume here on this red day. Oh, sorry, no, that was not the volume. So on this day, the retest happened, and then it again bounced up, but there was no strength, and then it again with 3 continuous days, it came retested, and it's probably gonna now bounce. Okay, so in general, not for this 25 HTF wala thingy. In general, if you are like generally trading flags, once you know that this is this is a characteristics of the market of a breakout, then one can also add here, and in that case it will be like a retest entry or a pullback entry or whatever you want to call it, right? Not for this challenge, but in general is what I'm trying to say. Now you see the second thing is that on this retest of the breakout zone, you make sure that a good retest always will have very scant volume, okay. So which means that this sloping down, the price coming down is actually on low volume, which means that there is not much seller, and that actually is a good thing, right? So a couple of other examples of that is I'm trying to find out the names I already hold. IFCI. So this is also now a retest or like a pullback, right? So you can say that this is the zone, or if you want to just draw a straight line, horizontal line. So this is already coming into this zone, which is basically trying to retest any supply left here or not. So this is basically, and this is like very very common, okay. A couple of other examples, probably we'll go one by one, and I'll point out that hey, this is sort of getting retested. Now that is the other thing. Now another thing is, now like I will now have this Mars at this one. So if you study by yourself all successful breakouts, what you will notice is that all the successful sort of high velocity breakouts happen when the Mars is at the positive zone. By positive zone, I mean that the basically the value is more than zero. So this white line basically shows a value less than zero, mane ki like it is uh, not outperforming, or what is the other word for outperforming? Um, See, this is what happens. This is actually a medical condition that you forget the word what you're looking for. But anyway, so basically, only the stocks which are outperforming the market at the time of breakout, you have to choose that. Okay, that also adds to your probability of breakout working or not. Okay, so keep those things in mind, and let's go one by one uh, and see. So again, I have extensively written about what makes a good flag, great flag, and the only thing on Cupid which it was not in our favor on this day was volumes, whereas on this day, this was a pocket pivot day, there was a shoot up of volumes, and this volume was higher than any day inside the base, right? So this could have been an early entry, to be really honest, uh, but I also advised against it. But looking back, okay, so these are the things, and we add back to our adding our trading. So another thing is one of the superb confirmation on a breakout is if the relative strength indicator is actually crossing above the SMA. So in here you have two lines. One is the yellow line. So yellow line is the 9 EMA of the Mars indicator itself. Okay. So if Cupid has to go up, which means it will definitely outperform the market, this guy will now have to trend above its own 9 EMA. So I am hopeful that it is going to happen. Either it's going to happen like immediately, or after a decent number of pullback, that we don't know. Okay, so let's then now see these things. Okay, so now you see Swan Energy, this could have been the early entry because this was clean on volume and also was a pocket pivot. Plus today's, although the breakout looks ugly because of a candle which is like has a very high wick, but it's still a good candle in my opinion. Okay, so what happens generally that after this upper week kind of thing, that the next candles will be housed inside, and at some point of time it again continues the breakout. Okay, so see deep yo, fucking hell man, why did you guys not tell me this? Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's visible. Who, for whom is it not visible? Adi, can you like log out and log in again? I think it's a problem on your end. All right. I felt so bad for a moment, saying that मेरा इतना time का मेहनत चला गया. Okay, great man. So okay, so what I was saying is that, so DB Realty clearly. So let's say, okay, I have a this guy, and whenever this breaks out, then I'll obviously be telling you guys about this. But when this breakout happens, I want my Mars indicator also to cross back and say that okay, मतलब breakout तो हुआ है, relative strength is also now like increasing. So that's a really nice. And guys, I don't care who you are, uh, you should not be missing NIACL and GCRE. Okay, just for the sake of also to learn how high tide flags, a good high tide flag is. This is a peak high tide flag. Like, I cannot stress more. Like, इससे ज़्यादा मैं नहीं बोल सकता है. Like, true pole, A, number one. Number second, high volumes on the true pole. Like, high volume माने highest volume ever का दो पोल है इधर. समझ रहे हो? Like, this is deadly. Number three, you see how much it has given up from the top. Huh? That would be, in my opinion, less than 15%. Yeah, so now less than 15% is not just 15%, it's also about 15% of the pole. Okay, which is like anything 1/5 of the length of the pole is really good. Okay, that's why high tide flag people say that it's 25%, which is basically 1/4 of the pole. यहाँ पे 15% दिया है, which is really good. Now that's the third one. The fourth one, now you look, is that there is something called linearity, or I am forgetting the name. It's basically there is very less volatility when it is coming down, right? Fourth. Now you see the fifth point is like the volumes in the mast is almost nil. I mean, decreasing and decreasing every day, which again tells you about the kind of uh, uh, lack of distribution. Okay, what it tells you. Okay, and eventually what you need is, on the breakout, you basically have a volume which is higher than in the mast. Guys, what I am trying to tell you today, this is, yeah, you cannot simplify more than this. Okay, and at the end, if you have the Mars indicator confirmation as well, that is like sone pe suhaga, that is the cherry on top. Okay, so it looks really good to me. Similarly, Jikre also looks good to me, but Niakal और Jikre में मेरे को Niakal ज़्यादा पसंद है, for obvious reasons now. um, okay, so you see now, Kalyan Jewelers is also something which I really like. Again, not as much as NISEL, but you see it's everything is like really. And make sure that whenever you are picking up a breakout, make sure that while it is basing, it is not dipping below this zero mark, which means that even when it was basing in an intermediate time frame, the the stock was still outperforming the rest of the market. So that is also something else, something which again adds to the probability of this one, right? So if you see here IFCI, it sort of never dipped, and when you on the breakout day we also had the cross back. Okay, आपको अच्छे से दिखाता हूँ, ये this cross back. Okay, so now the moment it starts to it will start to perform, what we will see that there will also be a breakout of this zone, this downtrend line on the Mars. There will also be a breakout when it goes up. And again, like, not for the challenge, but in general, this the 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 bounce from this pullback is another place where you can enter. Again, you see the volume on the bounce. Okay, it's like getting smaller and smaller. Now Jindal photo has is something which I hold, and this is like right now लाइक बॉर्डर लाइन, ठीक है, बॉर्डर लाइन माने इससे अगर नीचे चला गया ना तो थिंग्स विल नॉट बी गुड फॉर जिंदाल फोटो, बट टिल नाउ it looks really good. It has just slightly this last 4 days was a little negative because it's also started to now uh, uh, can someone tell me the opposite word of outperform? Underperform, yeah. So it also started to underperform, but right now it sits like really tight at the 50 small simple moving average. Okay, and it's also still a higher low, right? So the moment it sort of comes back up the zero line with some volume, that can actually be an entry trigger for you, and a really good nice long base. um, so yeah, so similarly you see ITI on this day. This is actually, if someone caught it around here, this was one of the best entry you could have ever made on a on a setup like this. Like, see, you cannot enter here because you don't know if this guy is gonna break out or not. Once it broke out with huge volume, I mean, entering around here would be like little extended. But had you enter just above this upper week, that is almost a peak entry, right? And so we see that this cross back also happened here, and hopefully if I can chart it out, max it's gonna again retest this zero line, and then we'll have this. And once this is like going above here, that could be another point of entry, you know. I mean, this is like so Tata Invest, this is another like peak name, like really peak. Everything in here is what I like on a flag, and this is even better because it's almost like a high tide flag. And similar to ITI, if someone wants to catch this and not miss this, all you have to do is put a GTD over 4346 4.9. That's it. That's all you have to do. Like, it can't be more simple than this, right? Though, so there are so many peak high tide flags right now in the market, and that's why I have also increased the limit to 10, because I don't want people to miss this, because kya pata, like next month we might not be able to find any high tide flags, right? So this is another peak. You see, like 6 के 6 characteristics मैं गिना दूंगा यहाँ पे, जो everything is present, right? So this would be a cheat entry. And also the triple B has triggered, which means there's a really nice base. ट्रिपल बी ट्रिगर्ड, उसके बाद तो आता है एक बड़े बढ़िया वाला इन जनरल. ओके, and so when that breakout comes, this guy also will move. Okay, so what I'll do is I will now stop explaining each of this very in depth, and I'll just go through a couple of all the list, and so then I can take more of your questions, and we can discuss more questions from your side rather than me telling you what I think. Okay, so again, Apollo is getting really better, and basically this is the this is the pivot, and we now have a higher high as well, sorry, higher low as well. And so this is actually really nice, right? This is like a double bottom kind of a base. Angel 1, so Angel 1, like I said, so this is the actual base. And yeah, so reinforcing the first learning about what to not do is basically not try to chase a breakout which is breaking out from a small base. So small base money which is less than like 10 days, 10 candles or so. Again, this will definitely break out at some point of time, but that's what, no, it's probably going to like bore you for some time now. BSC, every time it started the move, it always shoots a triple B candle, and you can go as far back as the move started. And this is also like soft signaling the power of my triple B candle. So you see, the moment the move started, before that it triggered here, triggered right before the move, triggered right before the move, um, triggered right before the move, right before the move, right before the move, and right now it has not triggered yet. So hopefully it will trigger, but you can see that, yeah. So that's where BSE is. um, MCX also, like you see, like it's like small base, and so uh, these candles are like not great. Couple of candles are not great there. So I'm Coelacon, like I said, this is like pulling back to the breakout zone, and yeah. So on this breakout, we actually had a the Mars pull crossover as well. Electrocast is yeah, probably will probably now go up, but again, like this is the kind of mask which I generally don't don't prefer. Like it's not like don't like. See, fact also 2 days of pullback again. Now you can do some pattern morphing. Now you see there's clearly three pivots which can be joined with a straight line, and if that is presented to you, you do that, and you try to mark this. And so now because it like sort of is taking the shape of this ascending channel, that fact could come till here and then shoot up again, right? So this also helps you place your stop losses in a little creative way, I should say. Okay, so I'm not asking you to replace your SL. I'm just showing you that how how creative you can get with things like this. GMDC. So GMDC also, this one was a sort of a fake out, did not break, but very being yeah. So till now there is nothing which is like to go, and again it can come back till here. Might the 21 EMA might you act as a support, and worst case scenario the 50 will come back, and sometimes this happens. Like what can you do? This is a game of probabilities, right? So um, yeah, hierarchy is okay. Again, the same point, like small base breakouts generally tend to languish before eventually moving up. So intense tech. So this kind of entries we haven't taken in our challenge, but this is also a valid entry. The valid entry is basically uh, a pullback entry at the first T, right? So that would be today. So any day it makes a new high on after the pullback would is another entry. So this is a really nice entry. Again, this is a IT name. This is also I think small micro cap, right? So you buy the data which I showed you early, it shows that small IT caps, IT companies are actually doing well. So things like say 25 moons or stuff like that, right? So Jay Balaji, I'm hopeful that this guy again, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? So this was in my opinion a nice A-Bud setup today, sort of squatted at the end of the day, but yeah, that's probability. And this was also very very nicely set up to reverse at the base of the Mars. So let's see how it does. Maharashtra Seamless is pulling back right now. 10 is acting as a support. um, yeah, I have this. So these guys have the entry point in these guys are gone, but I'm just still keeping so that we can also then go on and track to see how a high tide flag behaves after it is broken out, right? So that is also very important. Then only you will know, okay, kahan, like basically. So Modison, if you remember, I told that like once this guy broke out and possibly it'll make a 2T, and exactly that is what it is possibly trying to do. Um, so Murudeshwara is getting better and better, but as the number of days in the mast becomes longer, then it sort of no longer is a high tide flag, right? So this is like 37, 7 fives, 7 7 fours are 28, 7 fives are 35. So it's still inside the base, and if one can argue with me that hey Prakash, why can't we say that this is a DTL based breakout and trade this, I will have no counter arguments to it, no. So if you wish, that is also a, a way to trade this. Yeah, so Nitco is exactly doing how I thought Nitco would do, and just like, so Omex has been a huge disappointment for me. See, then exactly why? No, now if I ask you, so Abbott was fine at the 30 was fine. Why would I not pick it up at the fourth one? Is because the relative strength has now broken down the zero line. Okay, so that is the reason why I would not have traded it, because there is a good enough possibility that this guy could break down and then go on to form a big or deeper base. Okay, so these are like little bit sort of higher level stuff which has not been like documented as yet, because I mean, even for me to like tell you that ये ऐसा होता ही होता है, I will also have to make some more observations, and these are just like still getting collected and collected, right? So similar, something like this. So for example, until this day, the Orient Sierra Tech was looking really good. We were thinking that okay, low है, higher low है, यहाँ पे भी higher low है, and possibly this guy is gonna break out. But it actually broken down from the small base, right? Now now ऐसा नहीं कि यहाँ तक आएगा, but like थोड़ा deeper base बन गया types, you know. So so PPL again, another example of how after sort of a breakout which happened on this day, it's like now resting or sort of retesting on lower volume, so still fine. Ratan India, although it's a from a very strong sector and stuff like that, I really don't prefer uh, this action. Okay, कौन से दिन में ये ब्रेक डाउन हो जाएगा एंड देन इट अगेन रीटेस्टेड द एक्चुअल ब्रेकआउट, पता नहीं, you know. So that is why there is always a risk, and also I don't know how to exactly put the stop loss in counters like this, and that's why I also don't like small base breakout. Solar India is a perfect, this above this is a perfect entry now, and hopefully when that happens, this guy also crosses back. That will add more conviction to that trade, right? So StarTech Finance, this was a good entry, and had you taken this entry, you would have already de-risked here. Okay, so let's plot that out. Um, so let's say your entry triggered on somewhere on at this time, and if that's the case, you could have used the 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 low of the base somewhere here, uh, 7%, even like low of the previous candle. In that case, your 2 hour already happens, and now even if it comes back and hits your stop, you are still making some money on this trade, right? So always remember, and because the cheat entry और O'Neill point के बीच में इतना ज़्यादा distance था, which is basically more than like 13%, that is why this entry is suitable. Okay, because at the end you don't know कि O'Neill pivot में जाके कितना हाई रेजिस्टेंस मिलेगा. रेजिस्टेंस तो मिलना मिलना ही है, ओनली पिवट में मिलेगा ही रेजिस्टेंस, बिकॉज देर बी some amount of traders who actually entered on this day, and they were holding this trade all through these days just to wait for the price to come there, and the moment it comes, then they will sell it to you. So okay, so remember last time when this happened, I think we were chatting, um, but now this has broken down, and it's very clear that this was a sectoral level breakdown, and a little bit of a breadth indicator, the sectoral breadth indicator. So for example, if I show you uh, so yeah, this is a quick detour about sectoral stuff, which I have also been writing about it extensively last couple of days. Yeah, so if you see in an industry level, which sector did break down? Sugar. And this number was also right about similar yesterday. It was also the highest day before. So what this says is the 44% of all sugar stocks made a -4% woe, right? So there is some level of uh, uh, you can use these breadth indicators in this way. So breakdown started actually on this day. A lot of 4% breakdown in sugar happened on this day. Then that also carried yesterday, also carried today. So if you're a long-term investor and you invested in sugar, be uh, you might not have to be worried. But if you're a small-term investor, if you already have a stop loss, you good. But could have taken this decision to get out sooner. Okay, same was a good breakout here. Um, but O'Neill pivot पे आके बोल लिया. So this could also be like just a factor of the O'Neill pivot, could also be a factor of market today, because the market generally today was a little so. This guy is getting better, and this high volumes on the poles, something which is this high volume is really like 20% day, and then this is clearly T1 with like no volumes at all. This is clearly T2. T1 is smaller than T2. Everything to like in this. But again, like I don't know what this guy does, or after some point this guy will. Okay, this is also, yeah, like I think we should take it out of the list. This is like done, and again, like one can still I like forget about the name and stuff, but like someone like Manas Arora's the reversal trade would be trades on like this, right? Like more than 7 8 9 days of continuous down days, and like a strong start the next day. One can trade a setup like this, but this is like not how to trade the high tide flag, so I'll just uh, take it out. Now, to be fair, I actually took this trade today, and yeah, so I liked a couple of things here, and I also like the BVB, but I'm not sure if this was like not a high tide flag item. बाद में मेरे को इधर भी दिखा, तो I did not know this was actually a high tide flag trade. So Pritika, again you see like the homogeneity. Some of the pullback trades will go and have क्या बोलते हैं resistance at the only pivot. Some actually do work, right? So you always have to be wary of this possibility that like there is no surety in trading. Okay, there is no surety. Only surety is your stop loss. कि भाई ट्रेड नहीं चला तो मेरा 5% गया. भाई ट्रेड if doesn't work, then like 1% of my account is gonna get shaved off. That's the only surety. Okay, there is no surety, but what we are trying to do is like we are trying to add as many things as possible which will actually increase the probability to our side. Okay, so that's the struggle. That's the work what I am trying to do, what we are trying to do. Like we are actually, it's a truth seeking job. Like trading is a truth seeking job. Matlab, after 50 years also I'm going to work on improving the setup, like to know a little bit more than the market. So that's kind of where we are. Okay, I this guy is a lot of chatter in the social media. I don't like it because yeah, I some there is something I don't like it here basically. Probably the volumes, yeah. MBL getting better. Sasta Sundar getting better. Today's candle could have been better. Suzlon is getting definitely better, definitely better. AGS again, the small base breakout. It was such a nice flag until the breakout happened. But again, like jig 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 jig. Sometimes they go on and work. Sometimes they don't. Uh, Commercial services. Okay. Jay Prakash Associates. So today's candle was actually good. We'll see how it. So this was a valid entry on this day. Uh, Jayaprakash Power, I entered on this day. This was like a DTL base breakout. I would have loved this guy to cross, but now what one can anticipate is, okay, fine, this guy came till here and then comes, and when that happens, our Mars also sort of does something like this. Um, yeah. So let's say something like this, and we have a crossover. We also have a breakout of this pivot now. So yeah, also power again sector is like really hot. Yeah, so I was 63 moon, like this guy. So that's why the numbers are up because of these guys. Enic industry. So we will hard mark this because Enic industry is looking good now. Again, like they're like very small companies, but just as a uh, so Aditya Birla Money is looking really good now. Okay. Now the thing is, this is not a true poll, but again, if one can get a move like this, like a 24%, it's still fine. Like not everyone will give you 100 move, right? So something like this, and it's now like setting up, and you see sometimes these patterns, they like triple B fire, triple B fire, triple B. Okay. And this is also a very nice place because right now the so everything is cyclical, right? So high relative outperformance and then slow down, then again high. Right now high relative outperformance ka zamana ye tha, from here to here was actually the slowdown, and now again the high relative outperformance ka zamana probably is going to come, right? So then I will just click this. Yeah, so I like this guy also. Tremendous support here at this point. So, so this would be the only pivot, and this would be the point below which I'll be like looking. Okay. Consolidated Finvest. Man, what is this? Like sometimes I'm like, if it is like too small, like too much, matlab, like there is no pullback only. This is like too good to be true flag. So most of the time I don't trade this too good to be true flag. Like मेरे को लगता है भाई कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, मतलब इतना सुंदर तो नहीं हो सकता. So e-clerics is also like setting up. um, Emily Blunt is so right now. Global. So global, you see, this was the perfect flag. Matlab the perfect. I have to do this. So find me one fault in this flag. I'll give you. Yeah, I'll give you something. Find me one thing which you don't like. There is nothing. I will challenge you. There is nothing, right? So yeah, it feels good when like these. So this was the breakout day के पहले breakout आएगा बोल के बोल दिया इस बंदे ने. And when these guys sort of follow through it it it's like होगी प्यार की जीत kind of feeling, right? And right now again it's like getting tighter, and if you want to get back again, you just put a GTT over here. All right, let's move on. IITL getting better and better and better and better. Okay, so what is the thing which is good in this case is that these two candle gives me tremendous hope. Tremendous. Like HVE, like highest volume ever. Like ever, right? So, and then like there is no one selling here. Yeah, just making retail wait basically. Like people who were picking the stock up also like चलो बहुत चढ़ गया है, because they pick up in big the tranches, and that will definitely move the stock up. So they're like, okay, let some retailers get out, let us bore them, and then eventually again like 20% kind of jump happens. Like these guys move like this only. Yeah, so what I told about Nitco is exactly happening in Jaicorp. The moment you see that the cheat area is breaking out and then failing, and then the moment you see that hey, this is actually like a wedging structure or an ascending, this is actually wedging structure, then you know कि भाई ये आपको सताएगा, ये बंदा बहुत सताएगा. So that is why I actually don't like this wedging up behavior uh, inside the base. And also you see every time it tried to like go up, this EMA sort of slapped it on the head. Chal niche. So the moment it turns up, crosses it successfully, that is the time to probably go back. So price volume wise, this is still peak. The only thing is like it's getting longer and longer. Again, longer base is not a problem. Longer base is not a problem, right? Longer base का breakout अच्छा ही होता है. केशोराम, KPIT. हाँ तो यहाँ पे समवेयर, यहाँ पे मॉर्गन स्टैनली ने चूतिया बनाया, यहाँ पे अपने बंदों ने बनाया. सो एनीवेज दिस इज ऑल्सो लुकिंग गुड. मान आलू, मैक पावर. So Mintech India. So this is probably a small IT company possibly, and they are doing well. So you can factor in that. But the main breakout happened here only. Um, this was the flag, and this one is a little bit वो था. Um, yeah, but something like you can learn ki how after breakout also it then presents opportunity for you. Um, what is this? Northeastern carriage. Okay, so this is also a very nice mast one can actually think about trading. But again, like these are all very small companies, so people with big money to move shift will not be able to trade these, and I am sorry about that. Mm. So Newgen was like big breakout, very nice breakout. Edge, this is Kelaobe breakout on earnings, and another breakout here. Yeah, so PCBL is now looking good, but yeah, looking good now. Um, let's see. PFC, man, this guy, like, yeah, this guy is beautiful, man. But I'm not putting it because the mast is very small, and already the I mean I so the quick hill is not exactly high tide flag. Possibly the high tide flag breakout happened on here. And this is the mast, and then this was a very nice wo, and high tide flag breakout, O'Neill pivot breakout happened here. But sometimes again that happens that like this is like a base on base structure now, and it's very close to breakout. And if the breakout day comes and with the confirmation of Mars turning up, it's really nice. Okay, let's just track this guy. Okay, SBC not good. So why not good? SBC is because like there is, okay, ये this पहला वाला ठीक था, चलो मान लिया. But this second round also has like huge volume. So um, again, could work, but there are so many better options. Venus Remedies, Sumit, Rec, fucking hell, man. Yeah, brigade or setting up, just setting up, and these are all like these are all reality companies, and these are all also in Nifty Realty, and Nifty Realty has been one of the best outperformers in the market. So possibly once they set up, and then again, those breakouts can be traded. So for example, Swan Energy wala, this one. Okay, so those are the better ones. Pretty much gone through the whole list, and I'll take questions now. Uh, yeah, 10 minutes we have. Yes, yes. So, so can I show you some other graphs, not the high tide flags? So this is a list. This is the Bondi study list. Basically, I go through this list every day. So if I show you some quick examples on what a nice breakout, what accompanies a nice breakout, a longer breakout. Okay, what you see is that breakout happens, the base breakout, the breakout also coincides with the RSI, which is in this case the green, going moving to zero or crossing the EMA. So EMA is basically, when price crosses the when 9 EMA crosses 20 EMA. What does that mean? That like the momentum is now getting better, right? Similarly, if the if the relative strength line is above its own EMA, that means that relative strength is increasing. Okay. So similarly, now you will see in some other names also. So Kyokkal also you see it's gone to a positive territory, and also the crossover happened. Now Petal Engineer also, you can see that at around this time the breakout happened. And what happened before this? The relative strength also broke out of zero line and also crossed above its own EMA. Okay. GMR Pui, what happened? The moment the cheat breakout happened, cheat breakout के time पे this guy from zero moved above zero and also across its own EMA. Here the EMA cross happened on this day, the move to zero happened on this day, and you see on those 2 days what happened. Those 2 days also preceded the actual breakout. Okay. Similarly, this broke out of this downtrend line, and what happened, it's like it broke out of the previous high. So similar techniques you can also apply on the this guy J Passport. अभी देखो आप क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे. On this it could not break out of the EMA, but EMA breakout happened today, right? So the possibility of a breakout coming just became higher. Websol, what happened here? Uh-huh. What is that? Someone is saying something. Yeah, I was so Websol, what happened here? On this there's a clean, like basically what I'm so this relative strength was coming on a downtrend, and basically the downtrend sort of like reversed. So imagine this was a price curve, and previous high got taken out in the relative strength front as well. So something similar. So if you use this as a confirmation while the candle is breaking out, for example, Madras Fertilizer breakout with a BVHB Khela candle, and you see what happened here. This downtrend line also got taken out. No, no. Who uses 123 days, man? This is I use 50 days. Some people 50 days. Yeah, some people use 55 days. So you guys must know this Himanshu Chartitude. I think he uses 55 days. Some other people like me use 50 days. Okay. um, yeah. So let's say PFC को दिखाते हैं. PFC, this big base, flat base happened, breakout happened here. You see how the relative strength also turned up. Yeah. So this is something I call confirmation. I mean, I am very big on naming setups, but without giving you the name, it's basically a confirmation setup. I've been like studying this setup a lot. I can show you quick example. Um, so in here you see Magad sugar. So there was a breakout in Magad sugar. That breakout also happened on the breakout of Mars. Man infra, that breakout also, that big breakout also happened on a breakout of Mars. And this is in setups which has a ascending trend line. Brand concept, that breakout also happened on Mars. Orion Pro, and this is a trade I actually took, also happened on Mars, right? So Mars breakout sometimes sometimes it precedes the breakout in the actual WO. And yeah, I'm trying to find another this one where I have more examples. But yeah, so this is a very amazing thing which you can use as confirmation sometimes. Okay. And Nirman, is it clear now? Yes, so baseline is pretty simple. So, for example, you see, let's take an example where things are yet to break out. So, for example, in here, all you do is you join the pivot highs. Okay, so in this case, let's say these are the two pivot high, and this is your baseline, and this is actually a cheat pivot. So first of all, I don't know what level you know technical analysis. You can touch two lines which are pivot highs. Okay. So for example, this guy is a pivot high. These two candles are also pivot highs. Okay. So pivot high is basically a candle जिसके आजू बाजू वाला candle has lower highs than that. So these two has similar highs, and two candles before and after that has lower high. So we can say that this is a pivot high, this is a pivot high, and you can always only join pivot highs. You cannot you or else you cannot join a line, right? Now you can also join this line. Okay. Now, so then you will say, oh bro, ये तो touch नहीं हुआ, and because lines are basically zones. You know, the more you magnify it, then it'll be in a zone. So one can also have joined this. So this is how you draw it, and if that's the case, then the corresponding uh, tops also can be joined. So in this case it is this, right? Yeah, that's how you do it. Vivek sir, please go ahead if you ask your question. Hello Vivek ji. Yes, loud and clear. There is only, yeah, there is only one Mars indicator. Is it from Nitin? Finally, Nitin. Yes. So EMA is basically this is I have modified his indicator. Um, yeah. Okay. Guys, who else has a question? Hi, Saif. Yeah, so O'Neill pivot is something which I use this tremendously. It's basically if you have like a base, the start of the base, the highest high, that is called, I call it the O'Neill pivot. And why is also because William O'Neill always traded this breakout and not the andar wala. Exactly, exactly. He was someone who just did not like. He would have slapped you if you said कि bro इधर ले लेते क्या. Yeah, he that was his like thing, you know. Only on the breakout of the O'Neill pivot. Great. Yes, Praveen, go ahead. So that would take some long time. What I would suggest you is I have actually explained to the best of my capability on my on an article in my newsletter. So so if you can go there and just type triple B, you will find that newsletter. If not, just message me. I will send you that article. Okay. You're welcome, Praveen. Okay. Last few questions and then hi Shriram, go ahead.